Did you know that Costco, Kirkland's Signature, has their own whiskey sold at select locations around the US? Let's talk about that. How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Whiskey. Today we have something fun, something different. Normally we're doing bourbon hunting on this channel, but we're also going to do some reviews as well. And today I was in Costco and I came across this bottled and bond from Kirkland's Signature. Now, reading up on it a little bit more, distilled and bottled in Barton by 1792 Distillery. I have 1792 bottled and bond, but the difference is this was a liter for less than $30. This is 750 milliliters. It's kind of hard to find it for under $45 to $50. So for today's video, what we're gonna do right away, we're gonna crack into this. We're gonna taste it. I'm gonna taste it compared to this. And then at the very end, we're gonna do a little blind comparison. See which one's which or which one I prefer. A liter of whiskey, under $30, bottled and bond. And for some of you watching right now that may not know what bottled and bond means, has to be aged at least 4 years, has to be at least 100 proof. Normally, all bottled and bonds are gonna be right at that 100 proof point. Sometimes you'll see the years go a little higher. On the nose, it does smell a lot like what I know that 1792 profile is. A little bit of nutty, definitely a lot of banana notes on this one. Some nice brown sugar, definitely some good barrel characteristics in there as well. And I will point out, this is a single barrel bottled and bond pick. Really dislike this bottle. This one in particular. No bueno. This one, however, smells definitely a lot nicer, a lot more inviting. Cheers, everyone. That is ridiculous. Ridiculously good is what I mean. All those notes on the palate definitely follow through, except for this one. I'm definitely getting a lot of peanut, like a salted peanut, and it's wonderful. I'm really digging this. I don't know why anyone would ever maybe buy this. And again, I'm saying this now without trying this, but seriously, a liter of whiskey for under $30 and you're getting it bottled and bond? This is very good sipping neat. This would make a killer old fashioned, killer cocktail. This might be hard to beat for the price, and I get it. It's not available in every single state, but if it is, I highly recommend picking one of these up already. We're just getting started into this video. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's wonderful, actually. I even get a little bit of cinnamon, like big red gum on the end. Oh man, and I can only imagine what this one's gonna taste like after it opens up for a little bit. Finish the entire glass, through and through. Let's move on. I don't have the standard bottled and bond, so this might have a disadvantage or an advantage. This is a single barrel bottled and bond. Oh my goodness, that's a big cork pop. Get us a nice little pour in there. Not a full pour per se. Good tasting notes. Give us a few sips out of it. Oh, I will admit, maybe this bottle's opened up a little bit. I get more vanilla and almost like a vanilla banana pudding. So vanilla wafer, banana pudding. Very similar notes to this one as well. Again, the typical 1792 profiles there. You get that barrel influence, a little bit of that peanut note. Oh, but I really do prefer the nose on this one, actually. This is more quintessential Kentucky bourbon, I'd say. This is more unique, and that could be because it's a single barrel. It's definitely gotten better. This bottle has definitely opened up a little more than the last time I tasted it and remembered it. It's gotten a little softer. I remember last time it was very bitter, almost too much ethanol for 100 proof whiskey. Definitely I'm not getting that right now. I get that vanilla custard. Yeah, this is nice. It's a really light color for a bottled and bond though. This does look a little darker than this one. So the Kirkland's Signature so far has the edge when it comes to color. This has the edge when it comes to nose. Really couldn't tell you what has the edge when it comes to palate. And that's why we're gonna do a little blind. Number one, number two. Had the wife pour them up, had the bottles spread out somewhere. She wrote on this note which one is in which glass. Let's get into it. We'll start with one. On the nose, it smells more, this is definitely the peanut butter, salted, barrel influenced bottle coming from what I would think is like a 1792 product. I know they both are. They're pretty much the same thing. God, but it's so sweet. I do love their nose. If I had to say what a quintessential Kentucky bourbon whiskey nose is like, this is it. Bottled and bond, 100 proof, 4-year-old Kentucky aged whiskey. This is what this smells like. It's wonderful. It's really good too. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the craziest fan of this on the palate initially. Right whenever it hits your tongue, that's an important part of a whiskey. That initial palate profile to me is just a little bitter, a lot of oak presence, but the second that it goes down and you're entering that finishing stage of a tasting note on whiskey, it's very nice. A lot of sweet candy notes, almost like a candy corn, if you will. You know, like a lot of sugar. It's very good. On to glass number 2. Oh, this nose is a little better. And again, I say it's better to me personally. And what I mean by that is it's not as nutty or the barrel notes aren't coming through as hardcore in this one. But I still do think this one's more of that quintessential Kentucky bourbon smell. This is like a dessert pour. Very nice. Definitely sweeter on the initial palate. Finish, same exact thing, little sweeter, but it's just very flat. Now having them really back to back and talking through nose, flavor, finish is a big change in these two glasses. Glass number 1 gives you that long Kentucky hug, that good finish. It lingers, and whereas glass number 2 is just really, really flat. Not that it's a bad thing. I would say I'd probably use this one, whatever this one is, more for cocktails, mixing. Probably make a fantastic, again, old fashioned. This would make a great whiskey and Coke. A lot of times you don't want a lot of barrel notes in your whiskey and Coke. I personally don't. If you do, you do. I'm looking for something a little more sweet, and that's what this is. I consider them both neat though. It is really, really good. And I'm very surprised. I don't even know which one. I have my guesses of which one might be the actual 1792 and which one might be the Kirkland signature, which we'll talk about now. I'll guess. I might make myself look a little silly guessing, but I do enjoy guessing when it comes to blinds for my own mental. It helps. It's fun. All right, so my guess is glass number 1, Kirkland signature. That's my guess here. And then glass 2, I think is the true 1792 bottled and bond, which crazy though is technically they're the same exact thing. And again, I know this is a barrel pick of the bottled and bond, but you get this for a liter, 750 milliliters. Hard to find it for 45, 50 bucks, anything less than that, really hard. This was so cheap. For a liter, cost me less than $30. Glass number 1, okay, it is the Kirkland signature. Glass number 2 is the 1792. Now, the reason that I guessed that in that order, this was more of that, like I said, from the first time sipping it, the first time going through on the fresh crack, a lot of those good salted peanut, the barrel influence, and then it finishes really, really sweet, almost like you took a bite of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That grape jelly mixed in with that peanut butter influence was phenomenal. This to me, again, I wasn't a fan of this bottle at all when I first opened it. And I guess after letting it have some airtime, which I know a lot of people say that doesn't affect it, that doesn't matter. I'm telling you, to me personally, I know it's not placebo. I have bottles on here that have gotten better over time, and I have bottles on here that have gotten worse over time. This is one of those that just so happened to get better over time. Now, when it comes down to what would I recommend first? What is number 1? I 1000% am gonna have to lean towards the Kirkland signature. For volume, you're getting more, and for a lower cost for essentially the same exact product. They're being made by the same distillery in the same state. They're aged for the same amount of years, and it's the same exact proof. All that Kirkland is doing is sourcing from them because it is distilled and bottled by 1792. Now, are they using different rick houses? Are they aging it in separate warehouses from each other? I don't know the answers to that question. I would love to. If someone in the comment section might know, let me know. But when it comes down to it, I really do think I'd be silly, and anybody that I know would be silly to buy this over this. I know this is now going to be a staple on my counter behind me. Once this is done, that's done. I think I'm done with 1792 bottled and bond. I'm gonna just buy this stuff from now on. All right, guys, so that concludes today's tasting review, blind, comparison. I had a lot of fun. This was a good time. Listen, we have a lot of barrel picks incoming. We have a private group chat and a great community over on our Patreon. Patreon.com/whiskier. I'll drop a link in the description below. Highly recommend you join there. It's a fun time. And like I said, that's where you can get our barrel picks for the channel. Overall, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I would love to do more like this. You guys let me know, would you like to see more videos like this? What should we do next? And we'll see you in the next video.